Okay, so today I want to talk about HR 5087, the assault weapons ban of 2018, introduced by David Cicilline, Democrat, obviously. The bill is currently backed by 174 Democrat reps. That is 18 shy of their total membership in the House. So this is very much an example of a party that is moving in lockstep and knows exactly what it wants to do. This should serve as a warning to anybody as to what happens if we leave the house. They are very much coming for your guns. That, however, might be a good thing, because what you've got to bear in mind is, as much as it's perceived as a Democrat versus Republican issue, there are a lot of Democrats that are living out in the sticks that very much want to hang on to their guns. I mean, Vermont is a classic example. They are an utterly democratic state, but guns are very much prevalent there. You see what I mean? This is a very good issue for us to take to the ballot box come 2018 midterm elections. It's something that is going to very much scare the shit out of the base once they realize what's going on, because as so often happens, these bills tend to go through without much notice being taken. It's very much a partisan bill, as I say. It's purely Democrat sponsored, so at least the GOP's got the spine to not get involved with something like this, but we'll get to it. It's worth noting that, as the title suggests, it's an assault weapons ban, so it's not specifically about rifles. We'll come to that as we go through the bill. I should state at the start, there's all those names again. I should state at the start that I'm not an expert on firearms. I'm a Brit. We are not allowed them in our country. And for the love of God, look at the state we're in at the moment in terms of free speech, in terms of the police cracking down on ridiculous. I mean, Count Dankula's looking at jail time for a YouTube video where he was mocking Nazis. He wasn't even in support of Nazis, he was mocking them, and he's looking at jail time. Do you think the government would dare try that if we had an armed population? Probably not. So yeah, hang on to them. You need to win the House at midterms. It has to happen. You've got to break the curse. I know traditionally a controversial president will result in a switch in the House in the first midterms, but you cannot allow that to happen. This is a monstrosity. So get to it. Okay. So we've got some initial definitions. The term semi-automatic assault weapons means any of the following, regardless of country of manufacture or caliber of ammunition accepted. Semi-automatic rifle that has the capacity to accept a detachable magazine and any one of the following: a pistol grip, forward grip, folding telescopic or detachable stock, a grenade launcher or rocket launcher. Well, that is sensible gun reform that I can probably get behind. I can't really imagine there's a lot of Americans that are running around with assault rifles with grenade launchers attached to them, but who knows? Barrel shroud and a threaded barrel. Semi-automatic rifle that has a fixed magazine with the capacity to accept more than 10 rounds, except for an attached tubular device designed to accept and capable of operating with .22 caliber rimfire ammunition. Semi-automatic pistol that has the capacity to accept a detachable magazine and any one of the following: a threaded barrel, second pistol grip, barrel shroud, capacity to accept a detachable magazine at some location outside of the pistol grip, semi-automatic version of an automatic firearm. So here is where they ban the silencer by banning any gun that can accept a silencer. It's two pieces of legislation in one. Fantastic. The big thing to note here is, and I'm not going to go through every single gun that's on this list, but as you can probably see, there's a lot of them. The majority of the focus does seem to be on rifles, but one thing I did want to bring particular attention to was the pistol section. So when they tell you, oh no, we just want to ban assault rifles, they're full of shit. There's a hell of a lot on here. It goes a lot further than what is being thrown around in slogans. Oh, we just want to take away your AR-15s. Well, clearly you do not. There's regulations here in terms of grandfather rights, in particular, transfer of existing, sale, manufacture, serial numbers, production dates on any kind of high capacity magazines. It's a real doozy of a bill. I just keep coming back to this grenade launcher or rocket launcher. It's designed to propel a grenade, rocket, or other similar destructive device. Okay. And as we can see from point 45 here, the term permanently inoperable means a firearm which is incapable of discharging a shot or means of an explosive and incapable of being readily restored to a firing condition. In other words, they'll let you keep your guns if they can't fire. Well, isn't that good of them? You can stick it on the wall in place of your previous hunting trophies. Democrats are probably dreaming about doing that right now. So yeah, I'm not going to go through this in too much detail. I'm going to link the bill down in the description. I think the important thing to realize is the context of what this will mean down the line. You're talking about cutting off manufacturer for retail sale of huge numbers of weapons. Firstly, that's going to have a big impact on jobs. If you're not providing for the civilian market, it's also going to mean that military weapons will become more expensive because companies that are manufacturing them, largely American companies, won't be able to take advantage of economies of scale that the retail market allows them to do at the moment. It's going to make them less competitive, which is not ideal, obviously, if you're looking to rebuild the American economy at the moment. And what you're talking about doing here is essentially capping off future sales, future production, and just keeping the supposedly just keeping the level of firearms in America at a stable, wherever it may be, 300 million or whatever the claimed figure is, 30 million, 300 million, who the hell knows? There's no real registry of these things, so it's all guesswork, really. But what you've got to think about is that it's all well and good saying, well, we're just going to cut off future sales. We're not going to take away the existing guns. But then you see the complementary legislation, and you see that right now firearms are being seized under Florida's new gun control laws. And this is not Fox News, so don't start crying about conspiracy theories. This is a local Florida paper. We've got people having their guns removed from them, lawful owners, through the red flag system. And once that starts to kick in, you can really start to chip away at the problem slowly over time. Take into account the possibility of, if we end up losing the House, you could end up losing in 2020, and one significant Democrat majority, and your guns are going to be gone. This lays the groundwork nicely. The sweep will come in terms of buybacks, which, if we return to the bill itself, to the summary down here, and we see that it also amends the Omnibus Crime Control and Safe Streets Act of 1968 to allow a state or local government to use Edward Burr Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program funds to compensate individuals who surrender a SAW, semi-automatic assault weapon, or large-capacity ammunition feeding device. That shoots clips above 10 rounds under a buyback program. So this is laying the groundwork for an ultimate seizure. They don't seem to feel the need to hide their intentions anymore. It's all laid out there for you. And it is currently under review with the House Judiciary Committee on Crime, Terrorism, Homeland Security and Investigations. You can find their webpage. I'm going to link that too in the description. The leader of the committee is Bob Goodlatte. And in terms of your GOP reps, you can find them all here. If you're local to their district, please get in contact with them. Tell them that this bill cannot be allowed to pass, because when we get to the minority, here we go, and every single Democrat on the committee is a co-sponsor of this bill. So they are not going to be looking for fair discussion on the contents of it. They're going to be looking to ram it through. So we cannot afford for a single GOP rep to flip on this one. Or, as I say, once it's passed the House, they'll send it up to the Senate, and that's when they deploy the Never Again drones to pressure just a few GOP reps into signing up to it, and then we're done for.